tempo type players come out and make their way into winners finals. 2 players that are willing to push the envelope, to play to their aggression, to play in and force their win condition, and as I said a little earlier, to make decisions first and worry about the correctness and the situation after.
You're talking to Natunas, bro. Those are the favorites of mine.
They're great.
Those characters to a T.
They're fun.
Or in like layman's terms, for somebody who's not as fundamentally textbook-based as me, mashers. Not to say that these players necessarily are. They just know how to mash well, and that's why they're here. You know, there's such a thing as like smart mash, you know, safe mash. There's even like occasional like campy mash, which is not, you know, one-to-one, but
it's the difference between mashing and spamming, right? Like these 2 players, they're not spamming. They're aware of their options and situation, but they be pressing buttons.
It depends on the kind of mash. It's like if you're, I know my frame data, so I'm a safe mash player, or if you're like a mix-up heavier mash player instead. Like there's different kinds, really.
Oh,
you've seen like the what is it, the alignment chart?
The art of the mash.
Yes. You've seen the alignment chart where it's like, you know, your mix-up, your safe heavy, campy, or whatever.
Oh,
that back here is going to take the stock. You know, it doesn't matter how big of a boy you are in that beast. That Shield of the Goddess going to do you one in right now. Now the question is how Palutena forces her advantage against a very tiny character like Squirtle, because Squirtle, when the neutral's played optimally, I feel like can make Palutena's her neutral a living hell. But when you're down a stock, that's not necessarily the case, as you see Marvale holding it so well, almost dying to the up air, but just not close enough to the blast zone is on the part of Beast right here. But as I keep speaking and don't know when to stop, there's a lot of insurance being tacked on the part of Marvale, pretty much already almost lapping in percent towards already 106 ruble.
Yeah, that was
there you go.
A very nice reversal from Beast, but a great showing from Marvale on recognizing one of Beast's most hard to shake habits from him. He is so ready to pull the trigger on switching from Squirtle. He wants to play on his more comfortable Pokemon, which are Ivysaur and most especially Charizard. So seeing his Squirtle be in any type of dangerous situation, he's like, I'm getting out of there. Can play to his benefit and play to his detriment in some ways, and certainly with DI in on that back throw, on that down throw, you're going to land a back air and allow Marvale to get some extra damage, barely surviving that edge guard attempt, but not on that anti-air.
He got that original edge guard attempt off of a fake reverse aerial rush, which I love to see from Palutena players. The good footsies all the way back in. I'm going to bury you right now. Just quickly fast fall that, get that shuffle landing down, and then sneak that grab into the back air. It wasn't enough to kill a big boy like Charizard, but if your neutral is strong enough, like Marvale's, is a very scary situation off the ledge right there, almost bringing that back. And actually bringing it back with that jab lock into the forward smash.
It is...
Please.
It plays off of what you were saying a little earlier with that fake RAR coming out from Marvale. It implied to Beast that Marvale likes to feint with his movement. So instead of falling for an empty land, he throws out a forward tilt in a weird, unsuspecting way and allows him to get the jab lock and the pickup. Speaking of weird and awkward ways, that explosive flame sending in such an awkward angle.
Footsies. Mix up mash.
Yeah,
I told you.
We're playing some smart games while also applying a lot of offense between these two. Oh, the nairs colliding between Palutena and Ivysaur. Yet it's Beast making a big comeback here in game number 1 in order to slowly fight his way into a slight percent lead as the Charizard comes out looking to finish the stock.
Teleport recovery,
no
nothing
jump.
doing. You got to be watching your jumps right there against Palutena with a beautiful counter. What's going to happen right here with the Flare Blitz? Yep, Beast has been in that situation too many times. When he recognizes that his opponent is positive off of those ledge traps, he does the opposite of what you think.
Always.
And it just works. You can call that stupid, but he's the one sitting in winners finals and you're not.
It's playing the metagame, like being aware of his opponent's positive, but you're only negative if you're a bitch. Like so.
I didn't expect you to say that.
That's a Sun Tzu quote.
I didn't expect you to say that. Let's actually take a look at this again for a second, though. Watch this.
This is just Palutena's
Going to jump back up. I can commit with a nair right here. That also had to do not only with just how fast Charizard's dash is, but with the way his hurt box shifts when he does it. That can go below Palutena's neutral air from that scenario, despite how big of a character he is. That's part of the reason Marvale didn't expect that option.
Two big things. I mean, hurt boxes and hit boxes are obscenely accurate in Smash Ultimate, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. And two, Palutena's counter sucks.
I'd argue it's a good thing, the hitbox thing, not the counter. That's
just
a whole
unfortunate.
Story. But it's good because it reflects.
Yes.
At the very least, she's got that. I mean, that's one thing, you know.
You do have that going for you.
When you graduate to goddess status, your counters become reflectors. You don't need to settle anymore. And is it going to work this time?
The benefit,
Don't
though,
do the nair again. Don't do it again, please.
The benefit for Charizard, like
time.
the counter does not close up the stock even at 160 and allows Beast to get back with the Flare Blitz because it sends at such the perfect angle. Regardless, Marvale was able to pick up the stock, yet Beast threatening with this Ivysaur in advantage, the place where she always wants to be, yet Marvale playing up-tempo off ledge that time, taking a page out of Beast's book in order to find just a couple nairs and turning it into so much more.
Unfortunately, he got a rising neutral air off of the platform instead. Like, Beast went just high enough to the point where a short hop neutral air wasn't going to do it. That would have gotten Marvale way more damage and way more insurance on that stock, just getting caught in those nair loops. But unfortunately for him, that's not the case. But it's only about a 64% deficit. Really nothing that, nothing that Beast can't make up, but it's nothing that Palutena, if she knows how to play an advantage properly, and I think Marvale does, can take advantage of it properly. They're not going to be able to get a counter because of the way Vine Whip recoveries work, and that back air, still going to live. Definitely not going to live another one in this scenario, but this insurance, there's a lot on it right now. Now we're forced to switch to the Zardooble.
Yeah, there's no confirms, I believe, at these percentages for Palutena, unless you're finding something like a nair into up tilt. Sometimes it just works.
It was smart. That was actually a smart one.
It was pretty all right. Oh, the run-up spot dodge, and there will be up tilt rock. No confirms that time. You just let it rip after the spot dodge. Marvale taking the second stock first yet again for this game, too. Let's see if Beast has enough in the tank in order to make some plays to win this game, too, or at least make it close.
That's a second kill that he got off him with up tilt.
It's solid.
Yeah, no, it is really solid. It was both off of like a defensive option. He didn't get it off of like the Nair 1 pop-up that Palutenas usually get. And you would think that wouldn't happen typically because of shorter characters like Squirtle or Ivysaur, but he hasn't even really been going for that against Charizard, Probably because he knows how explosive of a player Beast is and how like that could definitely be a bad reversal, especially with that uppy out of shield, which is how he lost his first stock at the beginning of the first game. So you can imagine that he's probably got that on deck. But Squirtle actually dropping that combo right there, I feel like that could have been more, and it's looking like it still might be. It still has Palutena in disadvantage. There's the water gun in the face with the hydro pump. Nothing doing as that shield not going to negate any pushback potential. Palutena footsies getting that good old empty hop grab, the tomahawk, as I believe us old heads used to say. Ooh. This is absolutely anybody's game. Well, they're going tit for tat on these edge guards and neutral interactions.
But it's always the late game that Beast tends to pull away from. Though Marvale, what a pickup! But it's not taking the stock. You're threatening that his up air with a slow fall from Beast or allow him to survive and then follow up with a back air. Marvale playing too forward yet again. Just feeling it a little bit too much. You saw the up smash come out. You saw him charge it as well, so you know it wasn't a misinput. And man, that's rough in order to drop at the very end, especially after you're feeling it. After this explosive flame pickup was so clean.
Did I not scream it loud enough in the other set? Did he not hear me through the window? I said the final active frames are frame 50. Why'd he do it again? Stop it. Get some help. Why would you do that against Beast?
Hey,
you're crazy.
He wanted him the air dodge.
It's a crazy read, and it's insanely strong. It has better startup. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the worst.
I'm not saying.
As far as the smash attack, especially forward smashes, it's not the worst as far as startup goes. There's way better and there's way worse. It's pretty middle of the pack in that regard.
It's fine.
But it's so laggy compared to so many other ones, especially a lot of the stuff that Pokemon Trainer has in his kit. Just going for a hard read like that, like at any percent against Charizard, is definitely a risky one. But hey, you got to take risks every now and again. Risk reward is a good thing. Perhaps he thought that Beast wouldn't be able to get back to stage fast enough, but that's what they always say with Charizard, man. And then he always just winds up finding a way. Beast only needs one more to secure grand finals here at the Collision Pre-Local Fusion. Will he do it? Or will Marvale fight this back from the depths of hell? Oh,
the turnaround grab as well.
That was adorable.
Playing on the platform is so strong for Palutena. It's one of the many reasons she's so good on this stage. And yet again, Marvale uncorking a lot of that strong stuff early in order to give himself an early lead. Yet, the early game's never been the problem for Marvale. He's able to find damage. He's able to find stocks and take leads. It's about closing and finishing in the late game. That's always been the problem.
And that's where I feel like he could be really strong, when he's in advantage. And that's what's making him one of the better Palutenas to do it, especially here in Tri-State nowadays. Palutena, I wouldn't necessarily call her how do I phrase it? She's a bit of an advantage pusher. You know, once she's in a perfect world, and this is why, you know, the debates, whenever they happen on Twitter, whenever Palutena does something in a major again, and people are like, is she good? And then the Palutena players are like, nah, she's still bad. And, like, that debate comes around. She's still a monster in advantage in a perfect world. When she's played completely optimally, and those edge guards with the down tilt come in, when they convert into the bears, when she gets those, like, insane aggressive forcings with that reverse aerial rush back air, it's so hard to get off the ledge, regardless if you're even a big character or not. Look at how much, he didn't get the kill, but look at how much insurance that he got off of that, and then he gets the kill later. Like, it still works. It's just harder because pushing advantage requires fundamentals.
It's...
Not saying that the other characters don't provide fundamentals. I realize that's what people are going to take it as. That's not what I meant. Point is that that's what makes it a little bit harder. Because there are some characters that, you know, they just don't care about that kind of stuff.
I always see it's a world of generalists versus a world of specialists.
Okay.
And Palutena is a generalist, an enhanced generalist. She's 8 out of 10 in just about everything. And that can carry you for a very long way, and that has a lot of benefits. But then you also have characters like, to use the case an example, characters like Donkey Kong and Charizard, by extension through Pokemon Trainer, running around. Donkey Kong through the means of like Chunky Kong and Phantom, who we see, who is currently in top 8 of this bracket.
Yes.
They are specialists. They succeed in one thing or two things in 10 out of 10s, but are 3 out of 10s in other aspects. While Palutena, your lows are not that low, but your highs might not hit the same like extremes as some other characters.
What stats are you able to play to the strengths of the most? That's where it depends on what kind of player you are. Like saying that.
And for a character like Palutena, and honestly, not even a character like Palutena or a game like Smash Ultimate, for a genre like platform fighters, if you can move well, whether it be with dash speed, air drift, etc., you're going to have a fighting chance regardless of the metagame. And Palutena has movement. And that alone can put you in some really strong positions because you're able to instantaneously reposition at the drop of a hat.
And continuing off of what you just said, and this may also be in part because I was a Smash 4 player way back in the day, that is why I always believed in my heart of hearts that movement was more important than power in a platform fighter. And at my core, I still want to believe that, but at the end of the day, I think it also depends on like what kind of players play to their strengths. Because you notice it's always the similar types of like players that like like you mentioned, specialists who know how to do one thing insanely well with their character. Beast is one of those regards in Charizard, Donkey Kong with their ding-dongs, Bowser, and they're just mashing safe buttons in your face. Whereas Palutena, I feel, you know, those are just like the heavies coming to mind.
Right.
Whereas Palutena, I feel like people think she was so much worse because she doesn't play to just one, like, quote-unquote, obnoxious strength of a character. She plays, like, around, like, a sort of, like, more raw fundamental, like, style better, where, like, she's more middle of the road in so many different aspects, and it just depends on, like, how you know how to exploit that better. Which, at the end of the day, funny enough, is the same thing, because it goes to show, what do you know how to exploit better? The specialist play style, like you mentioned, or the generative? That's just my way of putting it into stupid Nintunis terms. Like, Ubel said it way smarter than me, but you get what I'm trying to say. This is just my way of trying to understand what Ubel said to me right now. This is why he's one of the best in the biz right now. And speaking of best in the biz, why we got Beast and Marvale here in Winners Finals. Beast one more to make it. And it's looking like he needs only one more stock to make it too, Ubel.
Solid conversion here from Marvale. I mean, to quickly summarize here, like, Beast has been putting on quite a show here in this game number 4. Adapting instantaneously to what Marvale was showing in that previous game and converting it into so much more. Finally getting off to a lead in a game for the first time is Beast, and he's looking like he's ready to take it to the bank and submit his ticket to Grand Finals. One up air ought to do it, one conversion off these Razor Leads, but instead we're setting him on the platform. Some solid stuff from Marvale time and time again. The back air, not going to do it. Let's see if they're able to get off the ledge, looking for the ledge trump. Oh, no.
That's, you know, that's what I like to call, like, edible spaghetti.
Yeah,
it was spaghetti, but you understand full well why the quote-unquote misinput came out the way it did.
Yeah, and the spaghetti was there, and you got it, but you just dropped it a little bit. It's on the floor now.
Yeah.
But, like, it was still prepared well.
Like, it wasn't bad spaghetti, like, from that, like, it wasn't bad spaghetti from that spot that opened down the spot by that dude that you know is really questionable and probably should never be cooking food ever in his life, let alone for other people.
So Olive Garden.
That was edible spaghetti, but like you said, but like Olive Garden, yeah. Benthic Italian, my ass. Sure, dropping that shit on the ground would make it taste better. Anyway, let's take a look at some of these sick replays. That neutral air, very ill. He's putting the music. No, don't put the music higher. Lower it. Lower it. I was spitting facts. I was spitting facts right there. Lower that, Kelvin. I don't even want to hear it.
All right.
Y'all asked me to be here for a reason. I said I could commentate. You could have gone with somebody else. You chose not to. Don't be mad.
Not mad, I'm just chuckling.
Shut up.
Hi, Kelvin.
Hi, Kelvin. Yeah.
All right. So,
let's look at the replay.
yeah. So a well-played set overall. I think it is. I think what was mainly shown off by Beast was experience in terms of playing these games in such a long fashion, playing against a multitude of players, a multitude of Palutenas. He was just able to more reliably adapt mid-game and between games to the changes that Marvale was making in order to keep up. And Marvale was keeping up, just never turning the corner.
No. Turning the corner is really, really important. Like if you don't want to be in disadvantage against a character like Palutena forever, and that's what Beast did on his end at the very least.
All right, so we've got our grand winners. Oh my God, we've got our grand finals participant sitting in Beast. Loser's side is currently running the loser's 5th set, which includes Jackal, who was able to beat Hayes in loser's 7th, and Sora J, who was able to beat Phantom with his Peach. Sora as well coming from the Virginia area. So now it is Sora J and Melly. Sora J, Delta Force, Melly, Jackal. Meanwhile, Collision 2024 happening this weekend, of which all of these players and more you will see this very weekend. You can't register anymore at star.gg/collision, but you can show up to Parsippany, New Jersey this very weekend, March 15th through 17th, for some Ultimate, for some Melee, for some Rivals 2. Get a Spectator's Pass and enjoy the full suite of heroes and villains.
Yeah, and in case you want to support the wonderful people who put on these events, many of which I have been to and commentated at, just to remind you, Collision Series is who is putting these on. We got events, we got production, we got content, the esport group that creates engaging gaming experiences for very diverse communities. I've worked with these people for a really long time. They really do specialize in hosting the highest quality of events and producing captivating content. You're going to want to see it here. Follow them on their Twitch, their Twitter, which you can also see down there because they put on this very local infusion.
Yep, happening most Mondays. It will not be happening the Monday after Collision for obvious reasons, but then we'll get right back at it with Fusion happening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the doors opening here in Rahway, New Jersey at River City Games with the singles, a rotating Buster bracket, and a full suite of arcade activities to enjoy here in the venue.
It's amazing, man. And in case you want even more, we got Xeno Weeklies. There's a household name at this point. Literally put on by the wonderful people at House of 3000 every single Wednesday. If you're in the New York City area, you can check them out at 21 Ludlow Street, New York, at the Xeno Series Gaming NYC Center. Follow them on Twitch at House of 3000 and check out their StarGG/Xeno. They had a Matcherino as well, but Twitter.
Yeah.
Follow Devin on Twitter.
Yeah, you just follow Devin3000 on Twitter. A, because that's where you get all the house updates, and B, because it's really funny.
You already know, ladies and gentlemen. You already know.
Right. Yeah. I think we're going to be throwing it to a quick break as we wait for our losers semis finalists to make it there, playing through each other right now. You can check the bracket at !point bracket, but in the meantime, we're going to be throwing it to a quick break. See you on the other side.
Good stuff. Good stuff.